Our Nigerian superstar, Victor, has said yes to move to PSG. He is moving back to France after exploring Italy and Napoli. Now he has said yes to move back to France. PSG is looking to sign him as their megastar to replace Mbappe.
I don't see any reason why he cannot go back to France because it's a very clear thing. It's either he must leave Italy, either you are going back to England or you are going to France. Now, France would be a good stepping stone for him because it is easier to adapt in the French league. There's less pressure in the French league than in the English league, number one. Number two, you might say, okay, the only pressure you might have is going to be in PSG because it's going to replace a certain boy called Mbappe. So you might be expecting high remarks from him to see high turnout of goals, basically, for him. But I think the PSG setup is a setup that will be good for any incoming striker that is not in the big name size of Mbappe, because now there might be less expectations from him, but everybody now works together to see how much he can get their striker to score. Before, Mbappe was like Messi in the team. Everybody works for you. Give him the ball, let him score. He must be the highest scorer of the season and all. But having him back in the Champions League with a chance to win again in France, it's a good thing, because when you look at Osimhen's record and now say he's a winner in Italy, he's going to be a winner in France, then we can now see after 2 years or 3 he can move to England. But I think for me, the only thing I would say is he has missed a good chance to play in England, because in the next 2 seasons or 3 seasons, nobody might want him again unless he's going to be scoring 45 or 40, 30 something goals every season.
I think he missed that chance when he didn't move in 2023.
No. I will argue that, because I personally feel the best move for Osimhen at that moment was Napoli.
Yeah, sure.
For me,
no, after
and
Napoli,
that was amazing.
After 1 year at Napoli, I felt like he could have.
Most persons don't move after 1 year. You know the way it works now. You just get a golden boot, and
the hype is
the ambition is high. Should I go? And you go now. Because what happened to him that season now? Injury, issues, broken nose, and I think he got 20 something goals with all the issues he had.
17
goals in the league.
Yes.
It's not a bad return too. How many English guys scored 17 goals last season for their clubs? Aland and who else? But for now, I think PSG is suited, because if you're not going to Arab to make money, PSG can pay you what you really want, and you're the star man in the Ligue. I think for me, Osimhen, I would say kudos, congratulations. Let's see next chapter for you.
Okay, John. When he goes to PSG, he's going to win the league. Obviously, they are winning the league. Even though you don't talk about but Marseille is making moves too. We'll talk about Marseille later. But if he goes to PSG, Osimhen, he's going to be their star player. Obviously, if you look at the players, the striker, Ramos is not really doing well.
Yeah.
Everybody's not doing well, so he's going to be a striker. Now, do you think now he can deliver that one thing that PSG is looking for, the Champions League?
It's going to be a tough pick, How do you say that he will come in and do what Mbappe couldn't do for Paris Saint-Germain?
Everything is possible.
And let's not forget that Mbappe is over at Real Madrid, where you have the likes of Endrick, you have Mbappe, you have Vinicius, you have Rodrigo. The list just goes on. And you add an Mbappe to that Real Madrid setup, they become the top choice to win it this season. So I think it's too early for the Paris Saint-Germain fans to start singing or hoping of winning the Champions League now that Osimhen is about coming in. But at least better days than the last season of Kylian Mbappe in Paris Saint-Germain.
Okay, now Osimhen, let's stay with Osimhen just for you before we move to other transfer news. Osimhen now, if he goes there and delivers this Champions League, would you not think that probably they will make him the Prince of France?
It's funny. Well, it's funny because they've been facing rebuild. They've hit the finals.
This is what they have been doing since 10 years.
Yes, and I think they've gone to the finals twice in the last 10 years. So you can't take that away from them, that they would at some point in the nearest future win it, but not be naming any other person the Prince. The coach will do a wonderful job. We believe Luis Enrique will do a wonderful job in this year's Champions League. But maybe in the next 2 years, if they win it, Osimhen will not be crowned that Prince. They will look for somebody else to name it. There's a Marquinhos who's been suffering with that team. There are other players who has also suffered with that team. So the credit will have to go to them, because they faced a long rebuild period.
I disagree.
Just coming in.
What he's talking about rebuild now, is just something that is coming off the back of the likes of Neymar, Messi, and the rest leaving the team and them going for younger players. Okay, now Mbappe leaving and Osimhen coming in is a good thing, because all that big ego something is out the door. The players can now bond together this season and now work together as a team with Victor Osimhen leading the line. And if they go ahead and win it with Osimhen leading the line up front, then you have to call him the Prince of Paris. And he's delivered what Mbappe couldn't do while he was trying to achieve it as a one-man star in that team. So you have to give it to Osimhen.